Golfers, do you struggle with your arms collapsing at the top of your backswing? Or maybe you've got that dreaded chicken wing coming through the golf ball. Either way, arms bending throughout the swing make it nearly impossible to hit the ball solid, to get any distance, and to really have any consistency. But what if I told you the answer wasn't in just simply straightening your arms, but actually understanding how the body needs to move in order to keep the arms straight? Today, we're going to look at the three most common issues that I see with the arms bending, whether it be in the backswing, whether it be at impact, or whether it be in the follow through. And we're going to learn how you can fix that by focusing not on your arms, but on your body. Stick around. This is going to be a good one. Okay, golfers, so first, why do we need to keep our arms straight? And the reason is, if I set up to the golf ball here, now we're to demonstrate up this way, if I had that ball right out in front of me, my arms were nice and straight. Well, if my arms were to bend at all, where's the club move? It moves away from the golf ball. Okay, so if my arms are bending at all throughout the golf swing, that club is constantly moving away from the golf ball. It's going to be very, very hard to be consistent. And also, it's going to start robbing us of power if I were to hit the golf ball with my arms very, very bent. Okay, so we need to have the arms to be relatively straight throughout the golf swing, right? And there's three places where obviously checkpoints where we're going to look to have that. One would be at the top of the swing, one's going to be at impact, and one's going to be on the follow through. Okay, so the first place that we're going to look at this is the backswing, okay? And the thing I'll often see from so many golfers is they get the top of the swing and they can feel and they can see these arms collapsing, okay? The club gets very, very close to the shoulder, right? Makes it very, very difficult to generate any power, right? And just the feel for so many people is off, okay? So why is that happening? Well, the good news is that you're not trying to bend your arms. Your arms have no choice but to bend. And here's why. When the golfer doesn't move the body correctly, and if they were to move their body, in this case their head, with the golf club, this is as far as I can go, right? When my body moves this way, moves with the golf club, my club can't get back any farther, right? So if the body stops, how can I get the club to go any farther? You guessed it. My arms have to do all the work, okay? So there's nowhere else for this golf club to go because we didn't move the body correctly. So if we were to see the head move too much this way with the golf club, okay, I'm not going to have any structure or stretch in the golf club. Conversely, is what we need to have happen is as the golf club is moving back, my head and chest need to stay stable, or in some cases might actually feel like you're going towards the target, okay? Because if my club moves this way and my head stays in place, well, what does that do to my arms? That's going to provide that stretch or that structure, okay? And the feel I like people to have is not in the left arm, but in the right arm actually staying straight, okay? Pushing this golf club away from you, right? But again, if I were to just do that with my arms, but not fix the body, I'm in trouble because that's as far back as that club is going to go. All right. So, what's the feel you need to have for the golfer at the top of the swing is you need to have an understanding of what the body needs to be doing. So, in order to keep my head still, I have to not just turn my body, but I also need to extend or stand up. And I also need to feel that I have this tilting or side bending going towards the target. And this, for most golfers, is the biggest thing. So if I were to have the club move back, and I'm going to exaggerate on purpose here and actually move my head forward, what do you notice about my arms? Naturally, they're going to be straighter, okay? Because the club's moving this way, my chest and my shoulders moving towards the target, and that's going to create that nice stretch that we need to feel at the top of the backswing. Golfers, are you looking to improve but have no idea where to begin? I've got you covered. Click below and download my free Breakthrough Golf Playbook. That's going to give you everything you need to get you shooting lower scores right away. Okay, second place that we're going to look at this is at impact, and really probably the most important when all is said and done. So why do my arms bend at impact? And you probably have seen, you come into the golf ball and you start looking something like this, okay? Again, you're probably trying to keep the arms straight, but the reason they're not going to be allowed to keep straight is because your bottom of your swing, your low point is occurring behind the golf ball, okay? In my golf swing, if I, for whatever reason, the bottom of my swing is occurring back here, I'm going to hit the ground before the golf ball. Well, it's only going to take 1 or 2 shots for my brain to say, hey, that doesn't feel very good. It's going to hurt my hands and my elbows. It's going to really hurt my ego when the ball just dribbles right in front of me. So what does the brain learn to do? It learns to react to avoid hitting the ground. Guess what it's going to do? You got it. Bend the arms. So bending the arms is actually the saving grace for the golfer that struggles with that move. Okay, so what do we need to do in order to make sure we get the bottom of our swing more forward to help keep the arms straight? Right? It's going to be just a simple drill here. All right, all I want you to do is take a golf tee or anything really and just place that somewhere in front of the golf ball. All right, and all you're going to do is just make sure that the bottom of your swing is occurring somewhere where that tee would be or after the golf ball. Okay, that's the key that you need to have. If your bottom of your swing is occurring over here and then your arms were still to bend, well, what's going to happen? You're probably going to miss the ball altogether, right? So the arms have to bend if the bottom of the swing is somewhere behind the golf ball. Okay, so go ahead and try that one here. Right, so we got the ball. I'm going to make sure to a practice swing here. Okay, notice how my arms can stay very straight now because the club's hitting the ground after the golf ball. Okay, tee goes flying, ball first, ground second. That's the second thing that we need to focus on in order to keep the arms straight. Gotta have the bottom of the swing in the correct spot. Okay, final way that we're gonna look at the arms here is gonna be in the follow through, right? Now, oftentimes I'll see people on camera or people will see themselves on camera or maybe even just a feel in their swing and they're going to feel something like this coming through the golf ball. And what do we see? That dreaded chicken wing, okay? What's the chicken wing is the arms doing what? Bending, okay? Well, again, the arms are bending. Why? Because they have to. In the follow through, what needs to happen is my body needs to learn to extend away from the target. For the golfers that bend their arms and have the chicken wing, they're going to have impact looking something like this here. Notice how my head's moved towards the target and my chest is where? Down towards the ground. Again, if I were to straighten my arms, look what that would look like. There's no way that club would dig straight into the ground. Okay, so through impact, what we need to have an understanding of is that the body needs to be extending, much like the backswing. When the club goes this way, my body stays this way on the follow through. It's the opposite. My body is staying in place or extending backwards while the club is going towards the target. And that is going to give that stretch and that structure to the arm. So best drill I found to help feel this is going to be as so. You're going to take your golf club and you're going to place it right here, right in your belly button, just above your belly button. And then you're going to take your arms and you're going to move it down so that the arms are straight. Okay, so now my arms are straight. Okay, I'm holding on to the golf club. What you need to feel from here is that you're going to take your hips and your chest and push it up and to the sky. Okay, you can also just think about taking that golf club and moving it up towards the target. That might be a simpler way. When I do this, what do you notice about my body right now? I'm tall. I'm also, look at my spine. It's actually tilted where? Away from the target. Done incorrectly would look something like this here. When my body turns towards the target, but this golf club is down to the ground, okay? If I were to take my actual club, look how close the club is to the ground. That wouldn't work. The only way I could keep the club from hitting the ground and digging into the ground is to bend the arms, okay? So in the follow through, we need to have this feeling of the body extending, coming through, because that is what's needed to keep my arms nice and straight. Okay, so we talked about the 3 different places of where I see the arms bending, and now we're just going to put them all 3 together. Okay, so what do I need to feel here? In the backswing, I need to make sure my head's staying where in place. Chest pointed up to the sky even a little bit. Okay, I'm not moving my head with my golf club. Okay, And then coming through impact, I'm not also moving my head where? With the club head. So my head needs to stay very, very centered. If that happens as the club moves back and moves through, that is what's going to allow my arms to stay straighter, keep that structure, get that nice solid contact. Okay. So we got the backswing, we got the follow through, and then obviously at impact, we're trying to make sure we hit the ground where? After the golf ball. Okay. So now that I have an understanding of what my body needs to do in the backswing, on the downswing, now I'm going to be able to keep my arms straight. Okay. So it's going to look like this. Make sure I hit the ground after the golf ball. Feel that nice stretch with my arms. All right. So there we are. Right. So again, in the backswing, make sure that my head stays in place. Again, it might even feel for you that your head actually moves towards the target. That might be a good feel for you to help keep the arm straight. At impact, making sure my weight's forward so that I hit the ground after the golf ball. And then as I'm coming through the golf ball, making sure my body is extending to help stretch that club out. Do one or all three of those if you need to, but most of you probably just one of those is where you need to focus on, and you're going to see better ball striking, you're going to see more solid shots, and you're going to see lower scores. Golfers, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you have not already done so, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. That will help me continue to put out content for you all. If there's anything you would like to see in future videos, please mention it in the comments, and I'll be sure to address it in future videos. If you really want to improve your golf game, I need to see you, right? I need to see your golf swing. So we can do it in person at Holly Ridge Golf Club on Cape Cod, or we can also do so conveniently online using the Skillest app. And you'll see links to both of those in the descriptions below. As always, I appreciate your time. Hope you found this helpful and look forward to seeing you again next time.